Tonight we are having our Craft Workforce Development Awards. GABRIA is a trade association, and our mission is to drive solutions to common issues for our members with an emphasis on safety, performance, and workforce development. So tonight we recognized high schools, community colleges, member companies, and the contractors who have really been investing in their workforce. These are folks who have done a great job to attract, train and retain their workforce, and are really contributing to developing the base of Louisiana and to upgrade the whole workforce.
What is the future of Baton Rouge's industry?
The future is bright. Baton Rouge is growing. The chemical sector is growing. It's taking a lot of jobs with it. So yeah, there's lots of jobs, and as Monty Sullivan explained to us, a lot of them are going unfilled because we don't have the people with the skills to fill those jobs. So this is all about filling the plants, filling the jobs with people from Louisiana, born, grew up here, educated here, and so we don't have to import people to fill the jobs.
What types of awards were given out tonight?
We gave out Craft Championship Awards to a number of our high school educators and our high schools, and some of the folks who have volunteered their time to develop new programs to train folks. We also gave out Craft Workforce Development Excellence to companies who have done an excellent job with implementing programs to standardize, to show employees their career path. So a lot of times folks will go to work and they just have a job, right? And they might not know, what's in this for me? I'm just a welder, or I'm just a scaffold builder. But these companies go to the trouble to explain to their folks that this is not just a job. Here are the possibilities. Here's where you can go with this career. And it really helps to retain people in the industry when companies do that.
You know, we're having the GABRIA annual Workforce Award ceremony. It's a great opportunity to honor those folks across the greater Baton Rouge area who are committed to workforce and committed to seeing a safe work environment. These are many of the partners of Louisiana's community and technical colleges, so we're proud to be here with them this evening.
Give me a little bit of an overview about Louisiana's workforce situation right now.
You know, we have a pretty extraordinary environment in terms of the number of jobs that we've built. We've grown dramatically over the last 7 or 8 years, but it's created a challenge for us in terms of being able to fill those jobs. Louisiana is a population of about 4.6 million people, and we have 2.3 million working age adults. We have a tremendous challenge ahead of us in being able to skill those adults to fill those key roles that we have grown over the last 7 or 8 years. So working closely with our partners from industry, with friends at ABC, as well as lots of private providers as well. Louisiana's community and technical colleges are working to fill that gap.
And what would you like to see happen this year?
You know, this year we got to continue to see increases in the number of students who are graduating. We've seen tremendous growth over the last few years. Louisiana is fortunate that we're one of the nation's fastest growing community and technical college systems in terms of enrollment, but also in terms of graduates. We got to continue that trend, continue producing those graduates so that organizations like the one represented here this evening can continue to be successful in Louisiana's economy.
My name is Connie Fabry. I'm the Executive Director of the Greater Baton Rouge Industry Alliance. Welcome to our 8th Annual Craft Workforce Development Excellence Awards Banquet. I'd like to thank each of you for your attendance today, your participation in this program, and your efforts in workforce development and the improvement of our workforce. The benefits of training and education are many and are documented by the Construction Industry Institute and many others. Plants today are looking for qualified contractors, and a trained and certified workforce is the key to being qualified. This banquet is a tribute to all of you who invest in workforce development activities, which include recruitment, assessment, training, career path development, and retention of employees in our industries. Our theme tonight, this evening, is Strengthening Our Workforce Together. The theme focuses on the epic efforts that many people in industry, education, and government have been working on to meet the challenge of building a host of newly announced industrial plants in Louisiana with Louisianans. Many new tools and programs have been implemented under an unprecedented industry-government education partnership since 2012, when we began working to strengthen our workforce together. With dogged determination, we've now built a new capacity for training where thousands of new graduates of skilled craft training programs in high schools, community and technical colleges now complement the long-existing programs developed by unions and private providers such as ABC and ITI Technical College.
Thank you very much for taking your time out of your very busy days to attend the celebration of workforce development. Before I begin my remarks that are pertinent to tonight, I'd just like to follow up on couple of things that maybe Connie's already mentioned to you about Gabria's efforts this year on traffic and infrastructure. Blue Bonnet Boulevard should be on the list. I didn't see it, but I think it is. The problems we're having with traffic and infrastructure and keeping people from getting to work and long commutes is one of the probably biggest threats we have to our economic and workforce development. Gabria formed a working group called the Baton Rouge Traffic and Infrastructure Working Group and is a founding member of CRISIS, Capital Region Industry for Sustainable Infrastructure Solutions. Gabria and ICC members have donated generously of both their precious funds as well as their people's time to advance this effort. It's gaining traction. We're working on both short and long-term solutions, but our industry has a lot at stake and our voice is being heard. One of the next big key events in this advancing our cause is going to be the governor's race and election. We're really trying to pin the candidates down to the greatest extent possible. They are politicians. And to this end, CRISIS has issued its platform, and the message to candidates is simple. Make the Baton Rouge region's traffic crisis a top priority of your campaign. Work cooperatively in support of a comprehensive regional mobility plan. And here's the kicker. Offer serious and specific funding solutions to implement it. There's been some nice things said about restoring trust in the Transportation Trust Fund, but what we really want to do is hear specifics about how that will be done. Transportation Trust Funds established by the state constitution, the money that's being spent out of that has to be spent on transportation. So all those things are being spent legally, but that money is being not spent on new roads and developed roads. Only about 11% of the funds that come out of your gas tax and go into the Transportation Trust Fund are actually being spent on building things. So that's going to be our message, and I hope that with every opportunity, those in this room will support that. And let's find out from them how they're going to stop the bleeding. Okay, now on to the agenda of this evening. The purpose of the Craft Workforce Development Excellence Awards is to recognize workforce development performance of individual firms, to convey Gabria's strong support of craft workforce development, and acknowledge that our contractors are essentially an extension of our own workforce. We've been encouraging Gabria member facilities to invest in workforce development programs that, as Connie mentioned, include recruitment, assessment, training, career path development, and the big kicker again, retention. To help in this endeavor, the members of our Contract Workforce Development Committee developed a best practice called Key Tenets of Contract Workforce Development. Gabria members endorsed this with a unanimous vote in 2007, and since that time, member plants have been requiring certification for their A craftspeople. And this has steadily grown and now stands at 98%. So 98% of member facilities require their skilled craftspeople to be rated as an A mechanic. And this is verified by the benchmarking we do for this awards ceremony tonight. This is quite a bit different than it was 11 years ago when we first began discussing how to encourage contractors to assess the skills of their employees. So please review the key tenets and the Gabria definition of a certified craftsperson located in your programs.
We'd like to recognize and ask the following people to come forward to receive the special award as Gabria Craft Workforce Development Champion. Will the members of the Industrial Scaffolding Committee please come forward? The Industrial Scaffolding Committee was developed through a partnership of operational and executive leaders from contractors that work throughout Gabria member sites and across the nation. These partnering members identified the need for scaffold training and through the support of their respective companies and professional organizations, developed a state-approved training curriculum for industrial scaffold building, which is now taught at River Parishes Community College and will soon be taught in high schools. Congratulations. Thank you all very much for your effort. Okay, next, I would like to ask Mr. Matthew Campbell, the Director of Workforce Development at the Pelican Chapter Associated Builders and Contractors, to come on up. For the past 5 years, Matt Campbell has served as ABC's Director of Workforce Development. During his tenure, he was cemented a great relationship with partner high schools. Teachers, students, and school administrators have come to both trust and rely on his guidance about careers in the construction industry. With a unique resume as a journeyman electrician, a contractor recruiter, and a degree in psychology, Matt understands the needs of the construction industry and human behavior. His background and knowledge are largely responsible for the continued growth of ABC's high school partnership and the increased numbers for daytime high school course choice classes. His engaging and fun-loving personality allows him to be both serious when called for and entertaining at others. He is always upbeat, and there's never a dull moment in his workday. Matt has a unique gift that allows him to successfully convince potential employees of the benefits of our industry, steer them to training, and secure their career paths for the future. Matt knows the needs of industry, and he knows the wants and needs of potential employees. As a workforce development professional, he's mastered the skills to match those needs. His personality and outgoing character has allowed him to bridge significant gaps between the school system and our industry, and has definitely been a key player in all of ABC's training and recruiting efforts. Both ABC and Gabria are proud to have someone of Matt's caliber as part of our organizations. Congratulations, Matt. Again, thank you for your hard work and dedication. You all are truly a valuable asset to industry and our members. This year, Gabria's Contractor Workforce Development Committee felt that special recognition should be made to area high schools that have demonstrated an outstanding job of teaching and promoting career and technical education classes that relate to construction. Gabria members are very encouraged by the changes that have been happening in our high school system of the last couple of years. The high schools are now required to offer career and technical education. We now have course choice, where the kids can come to training at ABC during the day. And a lot of new things have been happening. So the members are very encouraged, and we think this is a great trend. So these schools have consistently shown their commitment to craft training by providing students with opportunities in high-demand, high-wage careers. The recognition of these programs could not have been done without the assistance of Gabria members, the Associated Builders and Contractors, and their member contract companies, and their active participation in ABC's Program Partnership Program initiative, where ABC member contractors provide support to high school career and technical education programs. It is through the commitment shown by the school, the instructors, and contractor support that many of the students in classes at these schools are prepared to take the journey to become the leaders of tomorrow. We would like to recognize and ask representatives from the following high schools to come forward to receive the special award as Gabria High School Craft Workforce Development Champions. Livonia High School, under the leadership of Principal Stacy Gueo, I hope I said that right, is being recognized for its FFA, carpentry, and welding programs. Livonia High School was nominated for recognition by Performance Contractors, ExxonMobil, and Primoris Services Corporation. St. James Career Center, under the leadership of Principal Tracy Zarang, is being recognized for its carpentry and welding programs. St. James Career Center was nominated for recognition by Excel and Primora Services Corporation. Congratulations. Central High School, under the leadership of Principal David Prescott, is being recognized for its welding program. Central High School was nominated by recognition by Performance Contractors. Maurepas High School, under the leadership of Principal Kenny Kraft, is being recognized for its welding, electrical, and carpentry programs. Maurepas High School was nominated for recognition by Excel. Denham Springs High School, under the leadership of Principal Kelly Jones, is being recognized for its agriculture, science, carpentry, electrical, and welding programs. Denham Springs High was nominated for recognition by Triad Electric and Controls, Excel, and Primora Services Corporation. Congratulations. Louisiana School for the Agricultural Sciences. LASAS, under the leadership of Principal Dexter Compton, is being recognized for its welding and FFA programs. LASAS was nominated for recognition by Turner Industries Group. Zachary High School, under the leadership of Principal Joe LeBlanc, is being recognized for its welding and carpentry programs. Zachary High School was nominated for recognition by Cajun Industries and Performance Contractors. Walker High School, under the leadership of Principal Jason St. Pierre, is being recognized for its carpentry and welding programs, and also its vision to see students succeed in other occupations such as HVAC, plumbing, electrical, banking, equipment operation, radio and TV, and food services. The school has a working TV station, credit union, and bake shop. Walker High School was nominated for recognition by Cajun Industries and Performance Contractors. We would now like to recognize and ask the following people to come forward to receive the special award as Gabriel High School Craft Education Champions. Billy Dwarong. Billy is the welding, agricultural science, carpentry, and electrical instructor at Live Oak High School. Billy's exemplary work with students in welding, ag science, carpentry, and electrical classes has made him pivotal in getting students interested in the field of construction. Billy was nominated for this award by Performance Contractors. Davis Rayburn. Davis is the welding instructor at Zachary High School. Davis's knowledge of welding and construction has made him one of the most sought-after instructors for not only students but educators as well. Davis was nominated for this award by Cajun Industries. Mandy DeLong. Mandy is the ag science, carpentry, and welding instructor at Sanama High School. She has a passion for the ag sciences and craft training, and her commitment to finding her students' interests is unyielding. Mandy was nominated for this award by Turner Industries Group. Randy Jarrow. Randy is the welding instructor at Livonia High School. Randy consistently pushes his students to become the best. Many of his students' lives are forever changed for the better for having had him as their instructor. Randy was nominated for this award by ExxonMobil and Performance Contractors. Next is Roger Ball. Roger is the welding instructor at Central High School. Roger has built a program that pushes the boundaries for what is possible when it comes to high school welding. He consistently graduates several students each year with advanced welding certifications. Roger was nominated by this award by Performance Contractors. And that wraps up our Champion Awards. Folks, we are so pleased to be able to recognize our high schools. ABC has had a partnership with the high schools for a number of years, and Gabria's program where we fund the cents per hour has helped to fund some of that activity. And we're just very pleased to be able to finally make this connection and really showcase the folks that are involved. It's the first time we've been able to bring it to light. And so we're very pleased to do that. And thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. We'll get better with the invitations next year. Now, I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Monty Sullivan, who exemplifies our theme tonight of strengthening our workforce together. Dr. Sullivan was selected as the 4th president of the Louisiana Community and Technical College System on February 12, 2014. Prior to being selected as president, he served as chancellor of Delgado Community College in New Orleans for nearly 2 years. Under his leadership, Delgado experienced a systemic and cultural resurgence with nearly $200 million in facility developments, significant gains in foundation giving, substantial increases in student success rates, record numbers of graduates, and a reconnection with the business community of the region. Dr. Sullivan has served in 6 different colleges and in 2 state community and technical college systems over the last 2 decades, providing a broad background understanding the importance of higher education in solving the most pressing needs of communities, industry, and people. He has worked successfully in both state and federal advocacy efforts to improve the policy environment. He previously served as Executive Vice President for the LCTCS, where he led efforts to target federal Carl Perkins and state rapid response funds to solve critical workforce needs. He also provided leadership for Louisiana's technical colleges and oversaw the development of Work Ready U, the state's adult basic education effort. Prior to joining LCTCS, Dr. Sullivan served as Vice Chancellor for Academic Services and Research for the Virginia Community College System. In addition to his duties as Vice Chancellor, he also served a dual role as interim president of Eastern Shore Community College. While in Virginia, he provided leadership for the Vice President of Virginia's 23 community colleges advancing transfer, developmental education, student success, and faculty professional development initiatives. Dr. Sullivan was one of the founding employees of Louisiana Delta Community College in 2001. He has also served as director of the Center for Rural Development of Louisiana Tech University, Director of Continuing Education at Louisiana State University at Eunice, and coordinator of the Mobile Automated Learning Lab project at Grambling State University. Folks, please help me welcome Dr. Sullivan.
Thank you, Connie. Good evening. Great to be with you today. I know what you're thinking from that introduction. That boy can't keep a job, right? Without a doubt. It's great to be with you this evening, and what a great event. What a great opportunity to pause for a moment and recognize the great work that you're doing in training Louisiana's workforce. You're an industry that did not stand back and wait for someone else to take the reins. You're an industry that decided we got to do this on our own. We have to provide for our own. And in fact, where we are today is a place of partnership and alignment that's probably unparalleled in my time in Louisiana for certain, and I think for many of us in this room. We see more and more people contributing to the whole because we recognize the need that is there from a workforce perspective. Before we begin, I do want to say a special congratulations to those high school teachers as well as administrators who were recognized here today. Let me tell you, I wouldn't be standing here with you today, and I suspect many of you wouldn't be here today if it were not for great ag programs and great career and technical education programs at your own high schools. How about a round of applause for those teachers? You know, our theme for the event this evening, strengthening our workforce together. I want to take us back, if we can, to about 4:30 this afternoon, when nearly every politician in the state of Louisiana was watching the website to see who would qualify against them. And let me tell you, the folks running for governor in the state of Louisiana, they have a few things on their mind now that they know what races are set. The number one issue on their front of their minds is the workforce challenge that you and I face every single day. When we see those gubernatorial candidates show up for debates at forums, as they did at Sewella a few weeks ago at Southeastern in Hammond, co-hosted with North Shore Technical Community College, when we ask those candidates questions, immediately they go to workforce, workforce, workforce. We have gubernatorial candidates all over the country talking about workforce issues. We have President of the United States standing before crowds talking about workforce challenges. The reality is we will not solve the workforce challenges of this nation with government. We'll solve it by working together between industry, between partners like Gabria, like ABC, like your community and technical colleges to help solve those challenges right in front of us. One of the things that I would like to do today or this evening is frame for you a little bit the challenge that's ahead of us. To just make sure that we're all on the same page about exactly what are the numbers. How big is the issue that we face? You feel the pressure every day. You see it in your own operations. But let's be real for a second about the challenge that Louisiana faces in its workforce areas. Those gubernatorial candidates talk about it at every turn, but what will they do? Isn't that the age-old question in the season of politics? Everyone talks about it and has a great game to talk about, but what will they do when elected? What I'd like to suggest to you this evening is you have more ability to influence what they do than what they say in debates. You, industry. Frankly, you're the ones that write the checks. That's a little awkward to talk about, but it's the truth. You have an ability to impact those candidates in a way that very few do. And so I challenge you tonight. Take a look at some of these numbers and let's talk through what the real issue is here in Louisiana. And let's make sure that when the time comes that you make your statement about what's important to your organization and the bottom line in your organization, because the reality is this is about doing business right here in Louisiana. The title of this evening's comments to you is not, we need to fund higher education. You hear that far too often. I'm not asking for funding higher education because that's not really what this is about. What this is about is investing in the people of Louisiana. And the reality is an investment expects a return. Each one of you, when you make decisions to make investments in your organization, you expect a return or you wouldn't make the investment. And so I submit to you this evening that these comments are aimed at an investment in Louisiana's people because we all expect a return. You know, we took about 4 months, a little over a year ago, we went around, we had conversations with a number of you in the audience, a number of people around the state of Louisiana, and we asked a very simple question. What is it that you need in your day-to-day operations from your community and technical colleges? And what we heard back from you was a resounding response, consistent. The phrase was workforce, workforce, workforce. You didn't tell us you needed more general studies graduates. You didn't tell us you needed more liberal arts graduates. Frankly, you didn't say you needed more political science graduates like me. You said you needed people with skills. And so we began a deeper dive into the data. And this is a slide that I think many of you may have seen before. But I want you to think about what you have at your disposal as a company. Louisiana is a state of 4.6 million people. 2.3 million of those are working age adults. That's the population you have to draw from. Now let's talk about the skill set of that group. The skill set of that 2.3 million working age adults, 670,000. It's a little difficult to see, but this group, 670,000 at the top of the stack bar, they hold a college degree. The remaining portion there, 530,000, have a high school diploma, went to college, have some skills. Another 525,000, a high school diploma, no documented skills, and 600,000 adults in Louisiana with no high school diploma. 1.65 million people out of your 2.3 million at your disposal, your workforce, lack the skills needed to participate in your organization. It is daunting, but the reality is you see it every day. You don't need big numbers flashed in front of you. You see every single day positions unfilled in your organizations to be able to accomplish the task in front of you. How many of you are hesitant to bid on the next project because you're uncertain about labor? Many of you. You make those decisions every single day as to which projects you bid upon based upon whether you think you can get the labor necessary. We should not have ourselves in that circumstance, and this is part of the definition of the problem. Take that a step further. Those same 2.3 million people stacked in the chart to the left now, and the jobs available in Louisiana. You know, we've had an extraordinary run for the last 7 or 8 years. Do you know that for the first time, Louisiana has over 2 million non-farm jobs? 2 million non-farm jobs. The reality is, though, those 2.3 million working age adults, 84% of that 2 million jobs require some form of skills or college. 84%. 1.6 million of those jobs require skills just like the ones that you employ every single day. How do we get more of Louisiana's adults into programs, training programs that result in a credential, that will result in skills, that will result in a job and a paycheck? That's the challenge that we have as a state. I want to say something about our friends from the K-12 sector. What those of you in this room tonight that were honored are doing is absolutely essential. We need more of you doing exactly what you're doing in the classrooms. But let me challenge you as employers for a second. Louisiana will not solve the current skills gap with the 40,000 high school graduates every single year. The issue is too big to be solved by high school students alone. We put a great deal of focus in this state from a policy point of view on K-12, and we should. But the reality is, if we're going to solve the skills gap that Louisiana has, we've got to find a way to get more of our adults into training programs, out the back door, and into jobs working in your organizations. The reality is, it is a task that is much bigger than Louisiana's community and technical colleges. It's much bigger than the ABC training facilities. It is much bigger than the high schools. It is a challenge that will take every one of us doing exactly what our theme says tonight, coming together. It will take training programs at individual organizations like yours. It will require union training programs as well. Every single one of us focused on solving this great challenge. I would submit to you that our budget issues in the state of Louisiana, they're not about spending, they're not about revenue. The reality is they're about solving this challenge. More people working in the jobs that we produced in this state will create a stronger and better Louisiana. But if we continue to have jobs going unfilled, shame on us. We have created one of the nation's strongest economies, a growing economy. Jobs, plentiful, probably more so than at any point in time in most of our lives. We're seeing a state of Louisiana that is moving forward, but yet we have this great challenge hanging in front of us. No longer can we afford to be separate. No longer can we afford to be focused on our own little narrow lane. We've got to find the time to work together to make sure that we're solving this challenge. And I submit to you that we are. This past year, as a result of the conversations that we had with a number of you, we put together a 6-point plan that's very simple and straightforward. We need to double the number of students that we graduate. You don't need more graduates in liberal arts. You need people with skills. The second part of that is we ask you a question. How do we know quality graduates? And you know what you said to us? You know quality graduates when we pay them. Imagine that. How many times have you heard higher education say quality is based upon wages? Well, the reality is that's why most folks come to our institutions. That's why most of the folks show up at training programs. It's because they want a job, a paycheck, and a better life for themselves and their families. And so we put together this plan and said to the public, this is what we promise to you. You have been partners with us in this, in developing those strong relationships so that we have a better understanding of exactly what you expect of employees. You've also committed your own resources, not just financial resources, but the time of your employees, the time of your people to sit with us and help to develop and build programs. We're thankful for that. So how are we in this very difficult financial environment in Louisiana? How are we handling that? Well, in the last 7 years, we've cut 500 programs. Things like barbering and cosmetology. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad we have folks who can do all of those services for us. But the reality is, as colleges, we have to narrow the field and focus on a very small set of programs that are the ones that you're looking for. And so we have taken our entire curriculum, every single nickel in our colleges, focused on a very small set of 7 occupations. 7 occupations. What do you do in difficult times in your business? You focus on the core, and that's exactly where we are today, focusing on the core. Those 7 occupations, you can't read them across the bottom, but I'll tell you what they are because at this point, having done this presentation, I don't know, a few dozen times, I probably have a pretty good idea what those 7 say across the bottom. The occupations in Louisiana that are in greatest demand and highest wage, computer science is an obvious one. But then we get into areas like finance and accounting. But the rest of them hit almost exactly at each one of you. They're welding. They're the construction trades. They're electricians, instrumentation techs, process technology, process operators. They're all of the same fields that you already know. You already know the needs that you have every day because you're seeing them out there. Those 7 occupations, you can see, it's a little difficult to read here, but on the blue, that is the level of production of our colleges, our public institutions. In the yellow or in the orange, that is the level of demand that you've said to us exists in your markets. The tall graph is in the construction trades. In the construction trades fields, we produced about 4,700 graduates last year. Occupational demand says it's clear that number needs to be closer to about 10,000, 9,600 and some change. That's what you've said to us. And so it requires that we focus our resources to double, yet again, by the way, the number of people graduating with construction-related credentials, focusing on exactly seven occupational fields. Now let me tell you, do you think the faculty in, I don't know, maybe nursing are excited about this? No, sir. Not excited about this because we're taking resources and we're plowing them into the fields that you need us to be producing more in. But the reality is that's a very difficult task for a chancellor like Dale Doty at River Parishes Community College or any of our college leaders. But it's what we have to do. That's what today's market requires. The next slide is just a depiction of what we refer to those 7 occupational areas as Tier 1 occupations. This slide is what I refer to as the little man slide. There are 14,000 annual unfilled jobs in the state of Louisiana. These are not my numbers. These are numbers that you have shared with the folks at the Louisiana Workforce Commission as they've done the occupational forecast. 14,000 jobs that go unfilled every year in 7 very simple occupational areas. These are high demand and high wage fields. That's opportunity represented by every single one of those. Of that 14,000, 12,150 of those are folks that are educated and skilled in 2-year colleges and training programs like the ones we're honoring here this evening. About 2,000 of those are at the baccalaureate degree level at universities. Now, there's a very simple concept that if you remember nothing else, I want you to walk away from here tonight with this. There's something that plays out every single day in many of your organizations that whether you recognize it or not, there is a ratio of employees that you have in your organization that is typically about 1 to 7. Typically about 1, maybe professional engineer as an example, supported by 2 people with a baccalaureate degree that do things like finance and accounting or human resources and some of the other fields, and then about 7 technicians per professional. Sometimes the ratio is a little higher, sometimes a little lower. But in the 1 to 7, I want you to think about those 14,000 openings that exist in Louisiana today. We are missing opportunities. Families are missing wages. The state of Louisiana is missing revenue. There's opportunity cost here. Your businesses are losing money as a result of this issue every single day. We've got to solve that challenge, and we have to do it together. Let's talk about the opportunity cost. There are about 25 million man-hours lost for every year that those 14,000 positions go unfilled. 25 million lost man-hours. You can calculate what that means to your organization and your share. In addition to that, about $650 million goes unearned by Louisiana families. The reality is many of you are going out and you're finding people to fill these positions. Someone is making that check. Someone is making that living. But wouldn't it be important for Louisiana to do a little better job to train those folks to make sure that our sons and daughters are the ones who fill those roles? And then the final point, and this is really important when we talk to candidates. Yes, we have a revenue challenge in Louisiana. We're leaving on the table in this 14,000 positions alone nearly $50 million in annual tax collections. Our people need to fill those jobs. Sobering is what it means. It's sobering. This is the challenge that you face every day. Let's talk a little bit about 2 years ago, the legislature approved about a $40 million pot of money for higher education. They referred to it as the WISE Fund. I think probably in this last legislative session it lost a lot of its punch. But I want to share with you what that investment has meant on your behalf over the last year. That $11.9 million was invested in those same 7 occupations we talked about a second ago. We are on pace today by the end of November to graduate 2,760 graduates in those same 7 occupations, most of them in the construction trades. The folks who have already graduated and are already working are earning on average $51,500 each. We invested $11.9 million as a state, and in 13 months, the tax collections will give back the $11.9 million to the state of Louisiana. It is time that we stop thinking of our training programs and our education programs as cost centers. We are not the DMV. We are not a state service. We are instead an investment in the people of Louisiana that gives back every single day in revenue. Your payroll results in tax contributions going back to the state of Louisiana. We've got to make sure people understand that message. Finally, I want to share with you the partnerships that have evolved and developed over time. As we heard a little bit earlier, I had an opportunity to be at the board office and work with a number of you, be it ABC partners, high school partners, a number of the employers in the room, long before coming into this role as system president. And I can tell you, our relationships when I was in the board office 4 years ago were not what they are today. We have an opportunity to work together to solve these challenges because we have to. We have to be working in unison or we won't solve the challenge that we talked about a second ago. 1.65 million people. We have grown Louisiana's economy. We have to fill those jobs. The partners listed here are just a few of the examples. I want to thank Connie and her team. John, the board has been extraordinary. I've enjoyed opportunities to sit down with that group and talk about some of the issues that we face in Louisiana. Gabria's leadership has been extraordinary right here in the Baton Rouge market. I think we are fortunate to have an organization that you support in the way that you do in Gabria. The folks at ABC have been tremendous partners for us. The reality is we've learned a thing or two from ABC. You all know that. Many of the folks who work at ABC, you know that we have come a distance over the last 4 or 5 years. Much of that because we've learned from the training partners that are out there. We're thankful to you for that. LABI, LCA, LaMoga, a whole host of other folks. Our friends at the Workforce Commission and LED. LSU, who provides us with much of this data. There is a different level of involvement today and alignment today than ever before. But here's the message I would leave you with. The work is still ahead of us. The reality is most of the employment projections that are out there are on the horizon. And as good a work as we've done to this point in increasing the number of people who are skilled and able to participate in this economy, we certainly had better continue our efforts, redouble our efforts from high schools to community and technical colleges to private training providers. We have to do more if we're going to solve this challenge. It is, as I believe it is the greatest challenge that we face. Our biggest issue is not a budget problem. Yes, traffic is a problem in Baton Rouge. Our biggest issue is a workforce challenge. You've recognized it for a long time. It is the day that we will solve this challenge. I really appreciate each one of you. I appreciate all that you have brought to our organizations over the years. I appreciate the support, both from your employees and the time that they have been able to offer up. And I want to honor and thank all of you who are receiving awards this evening for the great work that you do on behalf of Louisiana's workforce. Thank you very much.
And now it is time to introduce our Craft Workforce Development Award nominees and awards. But first, Kelly Serio, co-chair of the Gabria Contractor Workforce Development Committee and member of the board, will describe the awards in more detail.
First, I would like to take an opportunity to thank each of you for being here tonight and to share this celebration of workforce development progress in our area. Your participation in these awards is helping both the member companies, it's helping our contractors, and it's helping Louisiana citizens, as Monty so well expounded upon very recently. These awards are helping us understand or develop a good understanding of industrial craft workforce development efforts in the Baton Rouge area, and also the effectiveness of the relationship between Gabria and our craft training partnership with ABC and other training entities and institutions in Louisiana. 2015 marks the 4th year that we've been collecting information electronically, and this data is now being compiled and will be presented here tonight in a format that you can use for benchmarking. It's our goal in Gabria that each contractor is able to utilize information gained here tonight to help strengthen and develop your program. Much like safety, workforce development, training of our citizenry and our employees benefits everybody. At this time, I'd like to introduce Trey Revet, Gabria's Director of Safety and Workforce Development, who will be presenting the results of the benchmarking information.
Thank you, Kelly. I'd now like to share some of the key findings from this year's benchmarking process. Overall, we were very impressed with the improvements and efforts made by all of the companies who participated. Some of the significant improvements include a detailed record-keeping system that tracks employees through the training process. We've seen some extremely significant improvements with specific leadership and supervisory soft skill training for the employees, and partnerships and recruitments with technical college systems. Now, some of the areas that we can still use some improvements is the company's commitments to craft training that's comparable to safety, such as setting concrete workforce development goals and taking commitment to workforce development in consideration when selecting subcontractors. Also, providing employees with more detailed written career path charts and examples in order to ensure that they are aware of the opportunities available to them within the organization. But again, overall, the committee was very impressed with the improvements made this year and are looking forward to the ones that will be made for next year. The entire report will be, and with many more interesting findings, can be found on the website. But we just wanted to hit the key points for tonight so we can get everybody in and out. So now I'd like to turn it back over to Kelly, who will continue with our awards overview.
Thank you, Trey, for those insights into our contractor workforce training program. So now let's get to the awards. 2015 Craft Workforce Development Awards are being presented to qualified recipients in the following 4 categories for their performance in the year 2014. First category is construction and maintenance general contractors. Second category will be construction and maintenance specialty trade contractors, soft crafts. The third will be construction and maintenance specialty trade contractors and hard crafts. And finally, technical support contractors. In each category, awards will be presented based on the company size according to the actual hours worked by the company-wide. Nominees are categorized as Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3 companies, depending on where the breaks in the data made sense to the committee to separate out to where we could have similar sized companies compared for each award. The criteria used to evaluate the companies for the awards are as follows. Each company submitted a nomination letter, and it could either be submitted by a Gabria member company or it could be submitted by the company themselves, the contractor themselves. The nomination form, which includes a written summary of the unique special qualities of a contractor's workforce development program, an audit of the contractor's workforce development efforts conducted by Trey and Gabria committee members. In making the selections, we assembled our committee, Gabria, which was made up of members of Gabria organizations who reviewed and evaluated each company relative to the nomination criteria and selected the award levels based on a consensus decision. This year's Craft Workforce Development Awards Selection Committee are as follows. And if y'all here, I'd like just to stand up and acknowledge your presence. Mr. Ron Landry from Dow Chemical Company. Mr. Ron Williams from ExxonMobil. Robert Douglas, ExxonMobil. Brenda McDonald from Syngenta. James Watkins of Dow Chemical Company. Glenn Vickner, Motiva Enterprises. Steve Welch, Occidental Chemical. Amy Vadrine, BASF, and Chris Richards from Shell Chemical. I would like to thank each of you for volunteering your time into this important process. In addition to the selection committee, we have many individuals who contributed their time to developing the criteria for this program, and I'd like to thank all the volunteers who helped Gabria through this lengthy process. Next, I'd like to say that each company here tonight who's been nominated is a winner. and has demonstrated much effort in workforce development. The awards presented in each category will include awards for excellence, award of merit, or a recognition award for their outstanding accomplishments. We recognize that even to be nominated means that your company has demonstrated a commitment to workforce development. For the selection of the different award levels, the awards selection committee took careful consideration of many factors I've just described. To receive the highest honor required exemplary performance in all criteria elements. Now I'd like to ask John Pasilla back up to stage with me, the presenting of the awards.
I'd now like to announce the categories and nominees. Audience, please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced in each category. In our first category, in construction and maintenance, general contractors, we have award recipients in 2 categories. Those who are Division II and Division III company sizes. In general construction and maintenance Division II category, the following companies were nominated. Excel, self-nominated. Primoris Service Corporation, nominated by PCS Nitrogen. Cajun Industries was also self-nominated. And JVIC, self-nominated. When announced, please come forward to receive your award. And this year's award of recognition in the general construction and maintenance Division II category is JVIC. Receiving the award of merit in the general construction and maintenance Division II category goes to Primoris Services Corporation. Congratulations. Also receiving the award of merit in the general construction and maintenance Division II category is Cajun Industries. Receiving the award of excellence in the general construction and maintenance Division II category for 2015 goes to Excel. This year's award of merit in the general construction and maintenance Division III category goes to Jacobs. Congratulations, Jacobs, on your 2015 performance. Receiving this year's award of excellence in our general construction and maintenance Division III category is Performance Contractors. Also receiving the award of excellence in our general construction and maintenance Division III category is Turner Industries Group. And receiving the award of recognition in our specialty trades craft Division I category is Global Industrial Contractors. Also receiving the award of recognition in our specialty trades soft craft Division I category is Axion Logistics. And receiving this year's award of recognition in our specialty trades soft craft contractors Division III category is Excel Modular Scaffolding. Receiving the award of merit in our specialty trades soft craft contractors Division III category, the Brock Group. And receiving this year's award of excellence in our specialty trades soft craft Division III category is Brand Energy Solutions. And receiving the award of merit in our specialty trades hard craft Division I category is Westgate. Also receiving the award of merit in our specialty trades hard craft Division I category is Vector Electric and Controls. And receiving the award of excellence in our specialty and trades hard craft Division II category is Pallet Interstate. Also receiving an award of excellence in our specialty trade craft Division II category is Triad Electric and Controls. And receiving the award of merit in our Division III specialty trade hard craft category goes to MMR Constructors. Receiving the award of excellence in the specialty trades hard craft Division III category is ISC Constructors. Also receiving the award of excellence in our specialty trades hard craft Division III category is Turner Specialty Services. And receiving the award of merit in our technical support Division II category is GE Water and Process Technologies. And this year's award of excellence in our Division II technical support category goes to Capital Ultrasonics. And now at this time, we have just 2 more awards to be given. Our Contractor Workforce Development Committee decided that it would be fitting to award a Gabria member company and 1 committee member who have demonstrated over and above efforts towards craft workforce development with Most Valuable Player Awards. These are the Gabria Craft Workforce Development's Most Valuable Plant and Player Awards. The efforts by this company in craft workforce development have truly been of champion nature and I'm excited to announce that this year's most valuable plant is ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil not only submitted the most nominations for both Gabria's Workforce Development Awards, but also for Gabria's Safety Awards. The company has shown an extraordinary commitment to craft workforce development by implementing intense apprenticeship programs, implementing Gabria's tenets of contractor workforce development, and auditing many of its contractors with the Gabria Contractor PSM Audit Program. For these efforts and for the steadfast support of Gabria and its craft Workforce Development Awards, we are proud to present you with this award. This takes a lot of time, and we appreciate everyone who took the time out of their schedule to nominate and interview companies. This year's Individual Recognition Award for Gabria's Craft Workforce Development Most Valuable Player goes to Steve Welsh with Occidental Chemical Corporation.
Our website is gbria.org, or you can download our app, which is on the App Store or in Google Play.